You think you know video games? You don't know jack. Video game expertise is here. It's going to teach you everything you ever wanted to know for 2,000 video games. It's time for video game expertise.
Numbering video games. Video games have a long history of sequels and prequels, much like films before them, but superior because they're video games. We all remember how excited we were with Super Mario Bros. 1, Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World. Turns out the original Japanese title was Super Mario Bros. 4 Super Mario World, a title they should have stuck with in English. But then they go off the rails. Super Mario 64? Super Mario Sunshine? What's going on here? There's Super Mario The Lost Levels, which should really be called 1.5. See, there are franchises that know how to do this. Kingdom Hearts is pretty much the top at getting this right. So they released Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Makes sense, easy enough. But they're not ready to release 3 yet. That's okay. They released 358 over 2, which if you divide that fraction out, it comes between 1 and 2, right? I think it's like 1.25. Then they did 1.5 remix, 2.5, which fits in between 2 and 3, 2.8 final chapter prologue, which comes after that, and finally 3. And I think there were maybe some others, but, side games or something. As Kingdom Hearts fans would be quick to tell you, those don't count at all. You don't need any of those games. Really, you just need the big ones that have the standard numbering. Let's try Resident Evil. 1, good. 2, good. 3, good. Code Veronica, that's not Resident Evil 4, but it turns out that game was actually intended to be Resident Evil 4. So why didn't they call it 4? A really big mistake, probably their biggest mistake ever. They did come out with a 4, which should really be 5, and they came out with a 6, 7, 8, etc. But now they're like, Village? Where's the number? You can have a subtitle, but you need a number. So that's one of the key things. But where they did it right was the prequel Resident Evil 0. And if they make a prequel to that, it should be called -1. It's that simple. Now, we talked a little bit about Mario 64, and of course, there aren't 63 other Mario games before that. But that's not the worst offender. You've got games like Madden 2007? You're telling me there's 2006 other Madden games? Come on. They think by putting the biggest number, they're saying the game's the best. But we know that all the games are great. Essentially, every series that has a 64 title, well, you've got 63 other games to show, so you better get to it. Do not inflate your game numbers. It's just immoral. It's undignified, and it's offensive to everybody who cares about this sort of thing. And I would say that's every real gamer. It's one of their top concerns. Now, why is Super Mario The Lost Levels a thing? Why isn't it Mario 2? Well, it turns out that they weren't that bad. You see, it's called Mario 2 in Japan, which means there are 2 Mario 2s? Actually, our Mario 2 started out in Japan as a completely different series called Dota 2 Panic. And that series would continue on its own to this day. Now you know. Don't even get me started on Pokemon. If you release 2 games, what are you supposed to do? Well, you're going to have to call one of them 1 and one of them 2. It's the only thing you can do. Square used to do a great job with their sequels, with Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. However, they did some online games. Those don't count, so they messed up their numbering. Sorry, you have to take those out. As you know, sequels and prequels are one of the best things in the video game industry, as well as re-releases. The fact is, there's so many video games, how are you going to play them all? If they just re-release them, you don't have to play those ones. And if you missed them, you get another chance. A perfect idea. All you need to do is give them the right numbers and you're set. Give them the wrong numbers and you're gonna spiral out of control. Stay tuned for more video game expertise.